Okay. What the hell? The Wi-Fi die already? You gotta be kidding me. Connected. And home. Come on. Hey, critters! I hate when the Wi-Fi... Paste. Save changes. Okay. Why is this acting up? Huh, here we go. Look at the size of this thing. I'm trying to bring chat up so I can see what you guys are saying. I only have like 3 seconds to see what you're saying on here, so I gotta load it on here. And I don't know why it's being a pest. Alright. Why won't Wi-Fi work? Okay, so clearly it's working there because you guys are there. It says we're connected. Doing all right. Why isn't it working? How do I make that go away? And close that window. Why is my internet not working? Keeps telling me limited connection. I'm going to try rebooting the router real quick. Let's hope it doesn't kill you guys for too long. So stay tuned. Works. There, that says connected now. I'm an equal opportunity cannibal. I'll eat anybody. Come on, install the stupid updates. There it goes. Bring up that. And then pop out the chat. Make it full screen. Okay. And I even got a little Bluetooth keyboard so I can actually type replies on the chat. Yeah, the wide angle lens helps because that's a big freaking box. I mean, here I got huge arms and this thing is as wide as my arm is. Come on, chat, load. Why is this thing giving me such a hard time? There it goes. Oh, because it's trying to play the video in the background. That's why. Oh, for Christ's sake, come on. Why is this thing giving me such a hard time? Okay, pause that. Minimize that. Maximize that. Okay. Channeling a little bit of your AVE there. Somebody taught me a trick to take care of the lag between chat and video on YouTube. If you click the three-dot menu, you can make me play back faster. You can change my playback speed to like 1.75x, and I'll start sounding like chipmunks. But eventually, that will catch you up to as close to real time as you can get, and it'll automatically switch back to normal playback speed. And then I should be able to type. This should not be appearing on here now. Hello. Yes, it works. So now I can actually type messages to you guys with a little keyboard. I also got a new screen for my regular video camera so that I can use the primary camera on the back of the camera. And then I have a trigger button and a mouse to control it through the LCD screen connected by HDMI through Slim port, so I can actually see what I'm doing. Yeah, this thing is heavy. Where'd you get 66 pounds? It felt about that heavy. It felt about 60 or 70 pounds. Yeah, 38 kilograms. I think it's 250, 280, 300, I think. There's a link in the description. I think it's the Guider 2, not the Guider 2S. I hope it's the Guider 2S, but I doubt it. Let me open it. What goes wrong when you use the bottoms? I don't understand. I don't think it's the 2S. I think it's the 2. We're going to find out once we open it. I don't actually know. I think it is enclosed. Why isn't this updating? I see stuff on here, but not on here. Is it just not current? Something's not right. Why the hell can't I tap this freaking icon? Okay. Yeah, the damn chat disconnected again. No, there's something wrong with the 2.4 gigahertz network. It's not working properly, and this tablet can't connect to 5 gigahertz. Yeah, I based on the size of this box, I think it's fully assembled in this box. I don't think I'll have to build anything. You know, maybe attach a couple parts, but this looks like it's fully assembled. Otherwise, why would it be so big? Assembled in this box. Okay, that's live. Now let me pop out the chat again. It may have just been the network still coming up. I don't know. But this should not be taking this long to load. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Is that a top chat? We want to make sure we have live chat selected. Live chat. I want to make sure I have live chat selected here as well. Live chat. Okay. I haven't watched Joel's video. I saw that appear in my stream about an hour ago, but I didn't have a chance to look at it yet. No, I have not. I have not tried their elastic TPE. I will have to try some. I'm waiting for Esun to get their silk PLA here in the US. Some of those colors look amazing. Vegas to Seattle's not that far. What's that, 10 hours? Maybe 12? Yeah, it's an expensive bugger. Not only do they have silk, they have a lot of silk in a lot of colors, and they look really good. Like their one silk looks a lot like Night Sky from Polyalchemy, so I'm hoping it's a lot cheaper. No. The printer's probably bigger than an S5, maybe not. But the S5 has a 500 by 500 by 500 build volume. This actually has a smaller build volume than a CR10. But I would place this in the CR10 class of build size. I think it's 250 by 280 by 300. There is a setting in the CR-10s Pro called economy mode. Turn off economy mode. That'll stop your heat bed from turning off. I don't even know why they have that in there. You can't turn off the heat bed on a silicon dioxide print surface. It won't work. It'll release the print. I don't know. The hunt for a new place is a kind of perpetual loop until I sell the store and I have the money to buy a new place. Like, I have a whole bunch of places I'm looking at right now that I would really like to buy one of them. Like, I have this one place in Edgewood. It's 1,900 square feet on an acre. I can get Comcast. I can get natural gas for heat. It has city water, so I don't have to worry about a well. It needs a lot of work. It needs a new roof. It needs the entire water system fixed. But you know, hey, if I can get it for $40,000, I don't mind putting $15,000 into it. And it has a 4-car garage already, which means basically it already has a shop just about ready to go for me to get started. But I can't even make an offer on it until I have money. So I have to wait until we close on the store and I get paid for that, and then I can make an offer on a place and see what happens. Now, this Flashforge contacted me regarding doing one of their printers. And, well, that's with labor. The roof would be about $6,000 or $7,000 total. And then whatever it costs to get the water fixed, everything else I'd do myself. It has to be the hot end. If it's not it's got to, the only two places where you can have a problem with, well, first of all, make sure you check your calibration, make sure it's actually extruding the correct amount of filament you tell it to. Like, don't even put it into the hot end. Pop the compression fitting out and just tell it to advance a certain amount of, tell it to advance 100 millimeters of filament and mark a line on it, and it should move 100 millimeters. If it doesn't, you got to fix that. But it has to either be the feeder unit not properly pushing the filament or an obstruction in the hot end. Oh, I printed a whole bunch of stuff. I got something really nice to show you. Here's Captain America. We have Elsa from Frozen. Itty bitty ones. I got Spock and the Flash and Deadpool. He came out real nice. I believe the filament Creality uses is from CC3. I believe they use CC3 filament. Batman. Let's see what else. Black Panther. Conan the Barbarian. Stringing would be retraction and maybe too high a temperature. A wet filament will also cause a lot of stringing. Darth Vader. I did all these all at once. This was a 66-hour print. It's got a lot of little goobers on it here and there I had to clean off because one of the like 15 pieces on the print bed failed, so it had oozing from that failed print. Iron Man, Superman. Here's the really cool one though. Oh, Adult Groot. I hope so soon. I just got confirmation they're going to be shipping the Sapphire S soon, and I'm still waiting for confirmation on shipping of the Photon. This one's really cool. This is the Lookout Tower by Juka, Kijai Design. The quality in this print is incredible. Most of these came from My Mini Factory and Thingiverse. What I did is I just a lot of these are Wexter, and a lot of these I just did a search for bust on both My Mini Factory and Thingiverse, and I just grabbed the ones that I liked and started printing them. Once I do a video on these, I'll have a link to each individual one. But this one is by Kijai Design, and it's called the Lookout Tower. It's on My Mini Factory, and the detail in this is just, and the quality of the layers in this, it does not look 3D printed. It's mesmerizing how nice this came out. Look at that front there by the steps. Just the amount of details in this model are just stupendous. Right down to the stone texture on the walls. Whew. This is incredible. It took 22 hours to print this, and which is actually not bad considering the amount of detail in it. But this was with the 0.2 millimeter nozzle at 0.08 layer height. Oh man, this is... It's incredible. Look at how smooth and clean the top layers are inside there. Look how smooth it is. You can barely tell, even the top layers, you can barely tell that they're lines of filament. You have to look really closely to, like if you just glance at it, it looks like a smooth, homogeneous surface. You can't even tell it's a 3D printed object until you really look close. Anybody home? What do you mean, Brian? Oh, interesting. I wonder if they're doing their own filament now. It's most likely a rebrand. This is 3D Solutech Merlot. Make sure you guys are following me on Twitter, because I post all of my pictures to Twitter. Whenever it's just the easiest app for me to use, because I can put 4 pictures in one post. But whenever I do little prints like this, any kind of new print that comes out, I immediately post pictures to Twitter so people can see the prints. No, the springs should not be causing wobble. If you have wobble because of your springs, you either have the wrong springs or you are moving that bed way too fast. But you really should not be experiencing the springs. One of the first things I do with my printers when I configure them, is as you see when I build a printer, is I tighten the springs all the way down and I lower the Z end stop as low as I possibly can so that I minimize how much I have to raise the bed up to meet the nozzle. That keeps the springs nice and tight, puts them under a lot of compression. I gotta look for that. Howard the Duck would be pretty cool. But the detail to this is, oh man, this is beautiful. I want to see if I could do a multi-part one of this. Obviously bigger because the 0.2 nozzle won't print some of the filaments I want to use. But I want to do one of the rocks, the base, and the tower and stuff in different parts, so that I can print the trees in like cloverleaf metallic green, and maybe Zyro for the snow and stuff like that. It'd be neat to make a multi-part print of this. But yeah, a lot of cool prints. my 3D printed school bus. I should make a little 3D printed school bus if there's a model available. I should check that. That would just be funny. Nice. I got mine as well. You should see how big the box is. I was like, why'd they send me such a big box? And then I realized because the 500 by 500 one for the S5. If you're having gaps in your top layer, that usually means under extrusion, but you could try increasing the number of your top layers to make sure it can squish properly. But usually gaps is because you're under extruding. No, I have not seen that. Let me load up chat on here so I can actually click on these links. Let's see, how do I do that? Oh, right here. Click here.
Robinhood is an invest.
Click there. I want to be live chat. Click on the eBay link. I'm not fond of it loading the filament in the back, but that's interesting. Oh, it's machined aluminum. I kind of wish they went all aluminum. Where's it coming from? Oh, shit. I'll take a gamble on that. I got enough Ender 3s. Actually, I'd probably put it on the CR-20 since it has a more firm structure. Oh yeah, we'll try that for 35 bucks. I just did. Boom, order complete. Of that direct drive unit? Nice, I'll have to check that out. Ooh, now are you talking about this blue? What did I do with that? Are you talking about that blue with sparkles? It's a light blue with dark blue sparkles. That's from CC3. Okay, so they're rebranding CC3 Filament, which is fine. I like CC3 Filament. What doesn't like back pressure? Matthew Seabrook. Oh, Carbon X. Okay. Yes, I am planning on attending Murph. Hell would have to freeze over for me to miss Earth. Things would have to be really, really bad for me to miss Earth. In fact, one of the primary reasons I want to stay here until April, besides weather making the move miserable, is that I want to attend Murph while I'm only 10 hours away here versus 20 hours away in New Mexico. They also have a gray sparkle as well, which is really nice. I hope they release more of the sparkle filaments. I love sparkle filaments. Test prints for the CR-10. The first thing I do is I print a Marvin, and then I print Vase. Usually one of these. It's a Rose for Your Girl vase. This is also a great test print on a CR-10 because you can make it really, really big and it doesn't use a lot of filament. So it looks really cool, but it doesn't use up a whole lot of filament. What I would advise doing is using 3 bottoms at normal extrusion multiplier. And then once you're done the 3 bottoms and printing the vase portion, increase your flow rate to 125%. That'll make your walls a lot thicker and more substantial. It won't be so easy to break. I'm losing the goddamn chat time again. There it comes, catching up again. Ooh, a dark blue with silver sparkle. That's new. David, you were asking something. I missed the first part of whatever you were asking. Where is that fix on the CR-10s Pro? I don't actually know. I would have to boot mine up to find it. But just there's only 6 menus. Start going through them. There's an option called Economy Mode, and you want to turn that off. What's Marmor? We already got a little bit of snow. Prime. Yeah, if the video is pixelated, hit the little 3-dot menu or the hamburger menu, depending on what information you're on or interface you're on, and change the resolution to 720. It should do it automatically, but sometimes it doesn't. So you might be stuck at like 240p or something like that. Well, at least I got enough money to fill the gas tanks, so I'm good for at least a month on gas, so I don't have to worry about freezing if I get snowed in. Yep. I don't know. Somebody has to figure out what the problem is. I suspect it has nothing to do with the XT60 connector or the crimp. I think the crimp is fine. I think the XT60 connector is fine. I suspect, somebody has to confirm this, but based on one of the pictures of discoloration that I saw, I suspect they're cheaping out on the wire and they're using copper-clad aluminum wire, and it can't handle the load of the heat bed. Okay, so Bill Roberts just said that you have to actually start a print, and then once you go under the adjust option, you can turn off economy mode. Yes, you can put the drivers on, or the dampers on. It's just a little harder. Hello, Natasha, Chris in Ireland. You ready for a big giant printer? I gotta figure out how to do a video on that one because it's not really that hard. What you need is a small hammer, like a little 4-inch hammer, and a punch. Okay? I guess the easiest way to describe it is that this is your stepper motor, and your stepper motor has bearings through the middle of it, and that the shaft on your stepper motor is a press fit. That means that shaft is held in there by friction. Okay? Now, your gear drive that you put on the end of your shaft is held on by grub screws. Okay? But the shaft itself actually goes all the way through the stepper motor. So it's held in just by friction. It's pressed on. Okay? Now, what you is you have your pressed on gear drive and your stepper motor. You take a thicker pair of pliers like this, okay, and you put it between the stepper motor and the gear drive like this, as a spacer in between, like that. Spacers! So, stepper motor, the pliers, the gear drive. Okay, what that's going to do is that's going to prevent the distance between the gear drive and the stepper from changing. Then, while holding that in place, and where is my thing? Here it is. You're going to need a roll of tape and something with a smaller hole in it like that. Okay, and you place your stepper on top of that hole so that it's nothing is going to stop this shaft from moving. And then you have your gear drive. You put your punch right on top of the shaft sticking out of the gear drive, and you take your hammer and you just tap it with the punch. Tap, 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 tap. And you'll begin to push that shaft through the gear drive and create a cavity in there. You're going to push it about halfway through. So now the gear drive is sticking halfway off the end of the shaft. Once you're done that, you flip the stepper over and you put the shaft and the gear drive into the hole of this little setup you have here. Oh, you can't see that. You put it into the hole of the setup you have here, and you tap it, pushing the shaft back through the motor. Push it back until it is flush with the top of the bearing, and then go just a little bit further so it's a little bit countersunk below the bearing. Once you do that, that will push that gear out far enough that you can then add the stepper damper to it and not have a problem. The problem is I don't have a second one to actually do a video to show you how to do it. I'll have to find something that has a pressed in set of parts so I can demonstrate it. But that's what you need. You need a tape, something with a smaller hole in the center, and then you need a pair of thick needle-nose pliers like that. You need a punch, and you need a small hammer. And you can actually just drive the press fitting through. You're not going to want to wail on it. You're just going to tap. You know, tap, 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 tap. And each time you tap, it'll move a little bit. And that's how you press on and remove a pressed on part. All right, let me see what I missed. If you're having trouble with bed leveling, the first thing to check, well, first of all, the corners are always an issue. You always want to, like, if this is your bed here, you don't want to level at the corner. You want to level about an inch in from the corner. Okay? So not out here, but you want to level here. So you would level, if this was the print bed, you wouldn't level here. You would level about here, about here, about here, and about here. Okay, so about an inch in on both axes, maybe even 2 inches in. And that's where you want to level. That's why I make my circle 75% of the size of the bed, and not the full size of the bed. All right, so that's how you get your level. You don't go all the way out to the corner. Your dampers should be about, I think it's about 6 millimeters. I think all of mine so far have been 6 millimeters. So you've got to shift that gear drive 6 millimeters roughly. Spacers is something it's an inside joke if you watch Ivan Miranda. So if you're not watching Ivan Miranda, what the hell is wrong with you? Go subscribe to Ivan Miranda. He's freaking hilarious. He's great. He's the one making the giant 3D printed tank. So, there's a kind of like an inside meme joke on his channel with spacers. So, but if you can, someone on my YouTube channel, how many subscribers do I have to do live feed? I don't know. YouTube requirements for live streaming. Okay, it says your channel has to be verified. And you have to have no live streaming restrictions. It says here on your desktop, go to Creator Studio Tools, then go to the Live Streaming tab. It doesn't tell me there's any other restrictions. Yeah, I don't see any other restrictions, so it looks like your account just has to be verified. Hey, 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 we got critters tonight already. Thank you to Richard, $10 on PayPal. And who else here? 3D CNC, another $10. Thank you very much. And Bill Roberts, $20 US. Thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate that. And thank you very much for using PayPal instead of Super Chat. I appreciate it. And guess what I got coming in from eBay? I got a PrinterBot Play. Yes. So I'm going to have 2 PrinterBot printers. PayPal's always a butt, but they're cheap and they're fair. Oh, Flashforge also sent me a case of filament too. So I think there's 5 rolls in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rolls of filament in here too. Okay, so I answered that live streaming. Check the cable with the thermal camera. And so the cable is getting hot. So I suspect I'm probably right that it's shit cable. The cable itself is bad. It's probably copper clad aluminum, which is not good for this application. I don't know. I don't know if she can accept PayPal in China or not. I was thinking about that. I saw his video after I ordered mine, and I was like, oh my god, it looks so much better in red. Mine's white. But I was like, his red one looks hot. I would like to, yeah. If he makes the files and stuff available, hell yeah. Oh, I'm hoping they send me a Neurus. I want one. That thing looks hot. If you don't see any discoloration, you're fine. Just keep an eye on it. Make that like a regular maintenance item. Just, every now and then take a look at it. It looks okay. If you start seeing discoloring, then maybe consider replacing it. I got a simple metal. I got lucky and got one off of Craigslist, really cheap. Yes, I still have the A5X, and it is one of the few printers that I would consider to be a decent competitor. I was very pleased with my A5X. It did a good job on that. Licorice rope into their printer and printing with it? I don't think that's going to work. I think it would get too hot. That'd be pretty badass if it did work, though. Oh, man, that would be pretty badass. I got super lucky. I got a PrinterBot Play for $175. Well, it's not going to hurt your printer. If you feed some licorice rope into it, worst it's going to do is gum it up. You crank up the temperature, clean out the carbon, and you're good to go. But if it works, edible benchy. Hey, Francis. If you burned it, probably. Now, the one problem is if you actually burn the sugar. If you got it hot enough to burn, I don't think you can. I don't know what temperature sugar burns at. But that stuff gets hard when you burn it. That might destroy a nozzle or a heat break. I'm going to start opening this right now. I doubt there's anything to build. My guess is, based on the size of this box, that it's pre-assembled. Caramelizes. But my guess is the hot end's not going to like that. So let me get this going. Welcome to today's 3D print. Today we have the Flashforge Guider 2. In the interest of full disclosure and transparency, which I always promise you guys, I have an arrangement with Flashforge. They sent me this printer at no direct cost to me in exchange for me making 6 videos over the next 6 months regarding this printer, which I'm happy to do. That's what I do. I make videos. So we're good to go. We're going to play with a Flashforge guide or two. Stay tuned. Okay. This is on now? Yes. Okay. Alright, now the trick is opening this bad boy, because this thing is freaking huge. Let's first get this out of the way. Alrighty. Looks like this is the opening edge. I just cannot get over how big the addresses. Nope. This box is. The guy who delivered it had to use a hand truck to bring it up to the door. Damn, I can't even reach the other side of the box, and I'm 6'4". This thing is so big. Lots of foam. Oh, I actually might keep this foam. This would be good for packing. Nice and soft. Okay, the whole printer's just sitting inside the box. Okay. I think it is just the entire printer sitting inside this box. Jesus, this thing is big. Can I even lift it out of here? I don't know. Nope, not lifting that out of there. So we're gonna have to slide it out of there. Oh yeah, it's a big boy. Whew. That is a massive machine. Alrighty, inside the bottom we do get a full kilogram of white PLA. I'm not sure what that, oh, it's probably a guide tube from the outside to the inside. Ubiquitous USB A to B. A full-size glue stick, that's nice. Toolkit as well as some lubricant? Maintenance grease, yes. So basic toolkit, looks like it's USB thumb drive and spool holder. Alright, now I've got to actually move this box out of the way. Definitely keeping this box. Okay. That is one very healthy box. Gosh darn it, that thing is big. That is one very healthy box. Okay. That is a very healthy stepper motor too. That is not a NEMA 17. Looks like the damn chat disconnected again. That's a gigantic bubble wrap bag. I think I'll be hanging on to that too. Okay. They do have handles built in here so you can manhandle this thing. Looks like nicely packed. Instructions. Oop, more stuff in here. Power cable. Good use of space. Holy crap. And you guys see this. There we go. Jeez. That's a beast. And why the hell is the Wi-Fi disconnected again? I mean, what is the problem with this thing? Yeah, maybe. Now, this problem is something specific to the 2.4 gigahertz network I have. This is running on the 5 gigahertz network, which appears pretty stable, but my 2.4 gigahertz network, for some reason, is not stable, and I'm not sure why. Survey mode in Cura is under experimental settings, and it's called Spiralize Outer Contour, I believe. So, here's the display screen. So let's get this going. Let's get the plastic porn going right away, alright? So here's the screen here. Oh yeah. Big giant color screen. And then we have this big piece of plastic right on the front here. Oh, it's totally wrapped. Lots and lots of plastic. There we go. I'll get back to you guys after I get more of the support. I just wanted the plastic porn for the main video. So this is going to be our roof. So this is going to mount up here somewhere. How does it go in? Just like that? Yeah. That's going to go just like that. I'm guessing I have to actually command the bed to lift up in order to mess with that. And there's cable chains in here. Now, what kind of printer is this? This looks similar to the Ender 5 in regards to the fact that it has a the head and the entire X assembly moves back and forth on the y-axis. So I'm going to guess this is the same as the Ender 5 as far as kinematics. It looks the same. I don't see the belt drive that would indicate a Core XY. Where'd that power cable go? Of course the power cable fell. Of course it fell. What else is new? Can I get it? Nope, cannot get it. Come here. There you go. The printer that we shall not name is still doing a good job as a battery holder. Okay, it's plugged in. Let's follow some instructions. And the goddamn chat disconnected again. Yes, this is a $1,500 printer. Yes, we shall not name it. The ANET A4. I did not have a good experience with that machine. No, the chat's fine. My connection is... I don't know why. It's that particular thing. It's annoying. My other tablet did the same thing. Same problem. It's something to do. I don't know why. For some reason, when I have the 2.4 and the 5 gigahertz networks together, they don't... The 2.4 gigahertz dies. Yes, it's open at the top, which is why they have the plastic cover. If the stream is 240p, then click on the 3-dot menu and change it back to 720p. Sometimes YouTube does not automatically do that when it should. Okay. I'm going to pull you guys down and give you a close-up in a minute. Because this thing's so big, I can stick you guys inside. And you got to give it, try hitting refresh, F5 the page. No, I do not have anything bigger than a CR-10s 5. My head in there. Come on, you dumb piece of shit. Pop out the chat. That's not what I wanted. Pop out the chat. Maximize it. This is Chinese. Is there English? Oh, kind of. I hope there's an English version in here somewhere. Yes. Okay. Yeah, my chat's back now. Yeah, I think Control F5 does a hard refresh. I don't know if that still works in Firefox. That's from like 10 years ago. Yeah, I wish. I've tried to sell a couple of the older printers, and any of the printers I'm willing to part with aren't worth anything. And when I find out that I'm only going to end up with like 40 or 50 bucks after selling a printer, it's like, I'd rather just keep it. Let's see. Take your guide out of the box, remove the bubble wrap. Okay. I see. So yes, that is a filament guide tube. So this is a direct drive printer. Interesting. I remember somebody telling me about this. This printer has a quasi-automated leveling system where you have to manually level it, but it actually guides you. It actually reads the distance to the nozzle, and it tells you when you've gone too far or not enough. I plan to do that. I have my own like little modern-day 3D printing museum to see how many printers I can get going all at once. Call the electric company, like, can you give me a 10 kilowatt line to my garage? What for? Very interesting. So this basically is built. I just got to install this. So that's that simple. The guide tube. Goes in here and goes in here. Of course, the bend has to be taken out of it. And that's just going to basically get the filament into the hot end. And I guess let's see what kind of filament's in the package they sent me, because I hate white. Hey, I think it worked. Okay. I rebooted everything. Give me chat. Let's hope it works. I shut down everything, unplugged everything. I need to put that router on a remote switch. I gotta climb over all my brother's crap to get to it. It's alive! We'll see for how long. Let's check the speed test again. Oh, much better. Come on, get up there, get up there. $940 megabit. It should come back. And I have 400 megabit up. So we should be good.
Man, I'm looking rough.
Okay. Let's make sure everything is set up. Alright, everything seemed clear so far? Yeah, it cost me $104.95 a month. It better be fast. I actually don't need gigabit down. There's no reason for me to have gigabit down. I don't need it. Just 100 megabit down is fine. What I need is more up. And the only plan they have that has more up is the gigabit plan. Every other plan is 10 megabit. The gigabit plan is the only one that has faster upload bandwidth, which is what I need. I'll probably make more than that's fine with me. That was and they didn't apply any other conditions. They didn't ask me to do anything special or specific. They didn't ask me to. They didn't say anything about will you give us a positive review? Matter of fact, their only condition was that I make 6 videos over the next 6 months, and that if I have a problem, I work with them to fix the problem, which is a completely reasonable request. What they don't want is somebody having a oh, this thing is garbage, and it could have been something tech support could fix in 10 minutes. Okay. Nice. Nah, this thing's nice. I'm probably gonna hang on to this if it prints well. Good, dude. Go for it, man. Yeah, I thought the terms were very reasonable, as long as they didn't apply any terms that would cause a bias issue, I'm fine. I mean, you want to make an arrangement with me to. I mean, it is an expensive printer. This is a $1,500 printer. They don't want to just hand over a $1,500 printer. A guy does 1-2 hour video and that's it. I mean, it is expensive. And that chat went down again. Successfully reconnected. There we go. No, actually, it uses just a straight up thumb drive. Be sure to mention that you were from the 3D printing industry and that you have a retail following. That might help. Yes, this is plastic. This would be crazy if this was metal. You wouldn't be able to pick it up. Well, let's just hope the stream going to YouTube is actually 720p, so the playback will be reasonable. But yeah, it's a SanDisk Cruiser Blade, 16 gigabyte. This is something I like to see. They even include a little bit of grease. This is the filament they sent me. It came with a kilogram of white, and they sent me a separate box of 5. I'm guessing, yeah, half a kilogram. So the orange, white, yellow, blue, and red. So we will probably. The yellow looks pretty nice. I think we'll play with the yellow. Because I really don't want to mess with the white. I mean, white's so boring. I hate white. Exactly. It's not free. You're doing a service to them, and in exchange, they're paying you for that service with those printers and that deal you got, which is totally fair. That's totally fine. This must be for pushing filament through. If you have a jam or something like that, giving it a push. Little screwdriver, 2 Allen keys. So I guess they assume you're only going to have to mess with 2 of those, and I'm guessing that's for the nozzle. Okay, so what else do the instructions tell me to do? And the chat keeps disconnecting again. That's so annoying. I don't care what people think. They can bite me. Here's what I say. I don't care if you're white, black, yellow, pink, onyx, brown, or turquoise. You all taste like chicken. Hey, Joe. Let us see here. My internet is being funky tonight. Yeah, I bet. Let's see. Well, we're definitely not printing a 40mm box, so I'm going to have to put some custom files on here. We don't do first-time prints of boxes. Boring. Now, does it say anything about removing those clips? I don't know. We'll find something new to print. Marvin has to come first, but after that, we'll print something. Okay, I did find one little small problem with the directions. Not a big deal, but for a new user, it might be an issue because it might freak them out. Unless they are supposed to remain. But there are these... Let me bring you guys in here so you can see this. Might as well give you guys a little tour inside here. So, this is the top of the printer. Now, I'm assuming these have to come out. These look like storage pieces. Is Naomi here? Oh, print Naomi. I'm assuming these come out. That these are just for keeping this thing together in transport. But they do not mention removing these in the instructions. And that, I believe, is a mistake, because a new user probably will not think to remove these. Unless they are told to remove it, they're going to assume that these are supposed to be there. And these will not allow these belts to move. And so they should update their instructions to tell people to remove these 3 clips. Otherwise, the printer's going to have a conniption fit when it tries to move and starts making all kinds of really loud noises. Not a big deal, just something small to keep in mind. So here's our power back here. Here's our first boot up. Yeah, it looks they did a very nice job on this, no question about it. I kind of expected it to be a pretty nice printer. The question is, how well will it perform? And it's got a heck of a boot up process. Almost. Don't fire a proton torpedo up there. It plays music. And that's some good lighting too. Here's the lighting strip there. That lights up the inside of the printer. All ABS molded. Parts cooling fan. The duct looks pretty nice. It looks like it's going to get the parts from all 4 directions. That looks like a pretty badass cooling duct. I really like that. I'm hoping they have other size nozzles available. I might want to play with different nozzles on this. See here, it's got vents on all 4 corners. Yeah, that fan looks very tiny. I think that's I want to say that's a 30mm fan. Yep, that's a 30mm fan. I am surprised a fan that small in there. Yep, there are magnets on the corners. So, we're going to go to Tools, I think, Manual, and Z+. Oh, interesting. That's something else that I would change, Flashforge. That's kind of a little backwards to human logic. You have Z negative as going up. Z positive goes down. I think I understand the logic of what you did there. Z positive is move the Z further away from home, while Z negative is bring it closer to home. But I think you'd be better off putting an up and down arrow in there. Because most people aren't going to realize that that means. Hopefully they'll just hit the one that's on top to make it go up instead of looking at the negative symbol. I looked at the negative symbol and I went to hit positive since I wanted to move it positively on Z. Although in the firmware that's negative on Z. Maybe. Then we remove these. Let me switch you guys to a wider view. No, that would only be if it came from Australia, Africa, or South America. Because they're on the same side of the world, just the other side of it. Australians are upside down. JT knows about that, right? Okay, can I take this door off? I don't think so. Oh yeah, the wide-angle camera doesn't have the nastiness either. Don't want to damage that ribbon cable. It's hard to keep you guys looking at this at the same time as I'm trying to interact with it. I'm not looking at the chat right now, so I apologize if I'm missing something. Would you freaking switch already? Thank you. Okay. Boy, that enclosure actually really knocks down the noise quite a lot. I'm really surprised how effective that is at quieting this thing. I was kind of expecting this thing to be pretty noisy. I do not know why in the chat. It is extremely annoying. And the problem is, I don't know what the problem is, so I don't know how to fix it. Well, we're going to start off with what is included, and then maybe I'll go grab a roll of ABS. Problem is, I think the only roll of ABS I have convenient access to right now is white. Yeah. Hey, Flashforge. I just have to poke at you a little bit here, but a little pro tip for you. That don't that don't work. Alright, I have to pick at you a little bit. So let's tape this up, since we're not going to be able to use this easily. I will need to buy a new oven because the house I'm going to has a bad roof, no water, no gas, no electricity, and no appliances. So I'm going to have the electricity turned on, the water repaired before they'll turn that on, the gas inspected, and hope there's nothing wrong with that so they can turn that on. And then I'll have 90 days to have the septic tank inspected and hope there's nothing wrong with that. Because that's another $5,000. And the chat's not updating again. Yes, they said I can keep this. Well, not yet. I haven't bought a house, but I need to soon. So, I'm going to eventually have to 3D print a new version of this that will actually work with different rolls of filament, because will this even work with the included roll of filament? Yes, that does look like it'll fit. And the goddamn chat is... Why is the... I don't understand why the chat keeps dying. I just don't get it. Biogas septic tank? What does that cost? And can you actually sequester the gas and use it? Well, Bad news is this looks like it's designed to fit their particular rolls of filament, although it doesn't fit the ones they sent me. But this this does just clip in. So all I gotta do is replicate this portion of this and then put whatever size spindle I want on there. So I can print a new version of this. And chat disconnected again. Where is the tablet? Where is the droid? Is that the droid? Nope. Nope. I have to be able to see chat. You know, I could use the laptop. That will probably work. Because I think this will connect to the 5 gigahertz network. It's just going to be a little tiny screen. Rent always costs more than a mortgage payment. Always. There's no exceptions to that. Rent is always more expensive than owning. Oh, now it's back. Wow. That Kodak printer is $3,000? Wow. That one that was being shown at CES? That thing's $3 grand? Jesus, that's a lot of money. Okay. Yeah, this is not working at all. It just comes and goes whenever it wants. So I'm going to try this. This connects on 5 gigahertz, so maybe that's the problem. I don't want you in my face. Go away. Are you going to load or not? Okay. This is connected to 5 gigahertz, right? Yeah. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble tonight. Let's see. Pop out chat. Let's just kill this. This is not working. Okay. Okay, this appears to be working. A little slow, but working. Can I rotate this? No. The printers I've been using recently, Paul Steele, are my Ender 5, my CR-20, my Longer 3D, and my Adimlab Gantry S. Those are the ones I've been playing with recently. No, I've my Wi-Fi, so no more open network. Lithophanes are very awesome. I love lithophanes. Yeah, the Ender 5 was a good move by Creality. They did an exceptionally good job on that printer. Okay, this appears to be more stable. I am using pop-out chat, but because it's a small screen, I have a very limited field of view. So I can only see about, what, 8 lines of text? 7. So I can only see 7 lines of text. One of the reasons I enjoyed this so much oh, I'll definitely do that. And this is taking forever to load. Oh, here's my new setup for this. So I have this LCD screen connected to a slim port HDMI adapter. So now I can use the rear-facing camera on the phone, the good quality cameras facing this way, to record these videos. And then I installed, oops, I don't know what I just did. Okay, it looks okay. Oh, I know what I did. There we go. So now I can't touch these screens now, of course, because it's not a touch screen. And no, I switched cameras. I hit the mouse. I have a Bluetooth mouse connected, so now I have a mouse that actually works on my phone, so that I can select different options on the screen here to mess with, but I can also just use this. So if I hit this, it'll begin recording a video, although I think it disconnects after a while. Yeah, Bluetooth input device connected. Okay, so I hit this, and it begins recording a video, and then I hit this again, and it stops recording the video. So now I can start and stop the video, and if I have to, I can use this to interact directly to change camera. So here's the tight angle camera, rear facing camera, selfie camera, and then the wide angle camera. So this phone has 2 cameras on it. And because I cannot plug in a charger as well as the slim port adapter, I have a 10,000 milliamp battery pack on there. It's not a bandwidth issue. I have 400 megabits up. I have 4 times the up bandwidth that most people have down bandwidth. So it's not bandwidth. It's, I don't know what's going on. It's annoying the hell out of me is what's doing. This still hasn't loaded. See, the goddamn Wi-Fi is disconnected again. I don't know why. Is it the tablet? Is it my router? I don't know what it is. But I have to live with this interface here, which only allows me to see 7 messages at a time. 6 or 7 messages. I love this GPD Pocket. This thing is amazing. It's annoying. So I have a very limited field of view here to read comments. I'm blurry. I already did. I rebooted the modem and the router twice. Yeah. I suspect it's something on YouTube's end or Comcast Local. I don't know. I don't update firmware unless the firmware is known to be a problem, because that's how you introduce new problems. Max temp bed. That would imply a short in the thermistor going to your bed. So your thermistor is reading a bad temperature. So either your thermistor is disconnected, shorted, or it's bad. Yeah, or cum crap. It's definitely the thermistor. It's reading out 175. So either the thermistor is disconnected, the thermistor has a short, in which case it would read max, Because if it was disconnected, it would read 0, I think. And or you have a bad thermistor. I have a VPN, but I don't have time to attempt to configure it to work with this. You can replace the thermistor. If you look at your bed, you have 2 wires going to your bed. You have the big thick red ones. Those are your the power going to the heater. And then you have 2 thin white ones. Those are the ones going to the thermistor. I have a VPN account, but it is not active on anything. I only use it for torrents. Oh, no, yeah, no VPN is on. The last thing I want to do is run my entire network through a VPN. That'd be a pain in the ass. Okay, so let's go through the bed leveling now, because the instructions told me about that. So I think it told me I have to bring them. I'm going to have to turn this so that I can get to this. Okay. Just let's load this white stuff. This boring white filament. Since I can't load anything else because your rolls don't fit. We are there. Okay, filament. Nope. Let's go to leveling. Let's get that done first. Oh, it is an external holder. That little thing just clips onto the back. I just got to design a new holder, that's all. Not a huge deal. A suggestion, Flashforge? Put the USB port on the front of the printer. So just plug an extension cable into that, feed it through the housing, and put a little USB port right here. So we don't have to reach around behind this gigantic, massive, insanely large machine to plug in the USB plug. So that'd be nice if I could just take this and go blip, and I'm done. Just a suggestion. Okay, our bed springs are tightened. We're going to go to leveling. Oh, is the Z home at the bottom? I think it does. Yes, it does. It homes at the bottom. It does not home at the top. Now that's interesting. I think it's XY Cartesian. I do not think this is H-spot or Quarks Y. The Z homes at the bottom. Now isn't that interesting? Hear that little harmonic? Yes, it came basically assembled. A little bit. The only problem is it takes forever. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's basically you basically attach the top, attach the tube, attach the filament holder, and that's it. I don't think it's my bandwidth. I think it's something in between me and somewhere else. Tap OK when done. Oh, it's got a little sensor. It's a switch. That's cool. So, 1, 2, 3, 2. It's telling me to turn all 3 knobs the same amount. Okay. I can already tell it's not level. This side needs to be up a little higher. Okay. It's now verifying the distance, and it's going to tell me how much to adjust the knob. Looks like it likes that one. It's got this little switch thing that swivels out. It's really slick. See that little swivel thingy? Oh, uh-oh, I just canceled the process. Oh, crap. I gotta wait for it to go all the way down. I put my hand up here because I was holding the camera, and I must have hit the cancel button. So now I gotta wait for it to start over again. Yep, $1,499. But it has this little doohickey that switches, and there's a little micro switch on the end of it, and that's actually what tells the level. That's pretty cool. I don't think the lag is coming from this end. I think it's coming from YouTube, and I don't know where. They're supposed to be getting a lot of snow out in Ohio, so maybe May East is getting hit. I don't know. Yes, like I said, the X stepper is on the X gantry, and the whole thing moves back and forth on Y. So this looks like the same type of kinematics as the Ender 5. So it's not a Core XY, and it's not an H-bot. No, this is new. Their tech has been around for a while. Well, true, but I think the whole point of this printer is that it's fully. It handholds you through a lot of the process. It's got an enclosed build chamber, so this printer would be popular at for people who want a handheld experience, for people who are at schools where they want a closed-off printer where kids don't have easy access to stick their hair in hands where it shouldn't go. I could see a lot of benefit to a printer like this. So we are beginning the leveling process. You have to raise up the Z to remove the foam from the bottom, and that's basically it for the assembly. You put the spool holder on the back and run the filament through, and it has a little micro switch that pops down on a swivel, and it reads the you see that little swivel that pops down? That's pretty neat. And now it'll actually check the distance to the bed. It picks it up, moves the head over, and then it'll drop the little feeler gauge down again and check the next point, and it will give me instructions on how much to adjust it. So this needs to come up more. So you got to be careful turning it so you don't move the bed up and down. That's something else the instructions don't make clear, because that will offset your adjustment. But okay. And then it double checks it. I think that's why it moves up and down, in case you moved it while doing that. It verifies your placement. And it's 3-point, so this assisted leveling should work pretty good. Tap OK to move to the next leveling point. And that's the bed leveling for this printer. So stay tuned. Next up, we're going to load some filament and try print. No, I haven't. So how close did it nail it? Woo! Looks pretty nice to me. I'd call that gap good. Finish. Alrighty. Let's see what's on this memory card. Alright, I'm going to turn around to the computer, but I can take this with me so I can read your chat while I'm messing around on the computer. Hello, Roswell, New Mexico. Let's see. Guider 2. Test files. Oh, this does not read G-code, huh? You have to use flash print? That's a bit of a turn-off. Does anybody know, will this read G-code, or do you have to use their flash print software? Nice, dude. The CR-10s Pro is nice. This is direct drive, D-Tart. Oh, really? I'm assuming China. So... File... So how do you... I forget how to do this in Simplify 3D. Machine. Printer models. Add. Nope. How do you add a machine in Simplify 3D? Well, if I can use Simplify 3D, like if they're just using a different file extension, but I can still use Simplify 3D, I'm okay with that. How do I add a machine Configuration assistant. Okay. Flashforge, guider. I have a guider, but not a guider 2. Is this the right size? Nope, it's the wrong size. Yeah, but it's the wrong size for this printer. What is it? 250 by 280 by 300, I think. Is the 280 the y-axis or the x-axis? Which one's wider? I can't tell which axis is wider. I'm gonna guess the y-axis. No, it's probably the x-axis. I don't know. Next, accept, next. Flash print, install. I'll try both. It's probably a hole where they had standardized slicers, and also they want to control the entire user experience, which kind of makes sense when you're trying to give tech support, because the last thing you want to do is give tech support for something that you didn't make. Like if a person's having a Cura problem but they can't get their printer working, they're going to blame you. So the larger companies that want to build that user experience, I can understand them trying to make their own slicer, which I'm okay with as long as it's still compatible with other slicers. It's when they go proprietary and they lock everything else out that I get annoyed. Okay, so 280 by 250. Does it not have a heated bed? No way. No, I see heat wires going to that bed. Oh, the guider must not have a heated bed. You got it, Tim. Good luck with that printer, too. Have fun. Heat bed, 60. And that's 210. That looks fine. Yeah, that is a nice sound. Let's do 25%. I prefer it. I do not want rectilinear. I want grid, and I do want print every other. Additions, skirt. We're going to do, let's see, 250. So half of that's 125. Let's do it 100. Skirt outlines, 3. Layers, 3. Perimeters, definitely 3, not 2. 0.4, 90% extrusion multiplier. Okay. We're going to turn on a wipe. They only have a 1mm retract, so I might not need the wipe. They don't have it enabled, so let's leave it off initially. We do want to avoid crossing the outline. Let's leave that alone. Let's do allow single extrusion. 50%, my normal setting. .75, I guess that's fine. Well, Formlabs is different. That's a resin printer. None of the standard slicers out there can do resin printing. So I kind of get that. Oh, that's interesting. You actually have that problem with people yanking them out? What douches. You know my solution. Bite them! Everything else looks okay. Oh wow, there's a whole big start script here. I'm not going to mess with that. And there's an end script. I'm not going to mess with that. Let's leave it at 60, see if it likes it. Okay, let's try this. Wankers do that. Okay, get rid of you. Where's my Marvin? 3D files. Marvin. That's an Earth Day Marvin. I just want my regular Marvin. Not a Marvin Advanced, just a Marvin. There's a Marvin. Prepare to print. That looks okay. I do have a USB drive installed right there. So it's just called Marvin G. Alright, let's get something else sliced. What else? How long is that going to take? That's going to take 31 minutes. I guess we do a real quick vase print. So, rose. Twisted rose vase. Nope, not that one. Low poly rose twist. Rose for your girl. Delete the Marvin. Center the vase. Let's do 3 bottom. Control CV. We are going to stop this process at 0.6. We're going to start this process at 0.6. We are going to change to single outline corkscrew with all zeros, except 1 for the outlet perimeter. And we're going to change the extrusion multiplier to 1.4. Let's go 1.25 for now. And that should do it. Continuous. Well, that's what we're going to find out. We're going to see how good it is. Oh, I don't need that big giant skirt for this one. Additions. We can make this 5mm and 2. Prepare to print. Select all. Go. That looks intact. I don't see any problems. Save it. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to mess with the enclosure for ABS prints. Hey, I can only mess with whatever they send me. Where is the USB port? Where is the USB port? Oh crap, it's up here. Oh, that's not so bad. Hey, this thing's got an Ethernet connection too. Now that's interesting. If I can connect this thing over Ethernet, that's pretty slick. Hey, Jake. Yeah, it's right here. It's got a full-size USB, USB port, and an Ethernet port. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go build, I'm assuming. Now, what's this? 15,007 megabytes. That's the USB drive. But apparently it has a 6.8 gigabyte internal drive. But it's only got 15 megabytes. But nothing's on it when I bring it up. Is that the software running this printer? Does this printer actually take 6.8 gigabytes of software to run? Like it has an internal storage space? Oh, do they? I'll have to check that. That's pretty slick. And Marvin did show up. Do I have to double tap? There we go. And build. I like that they say build and not print. Looks like it is homing. I also like the fact that it's heating up both the nozzle and the bed together, which I prefer. Now, see, Flash Print might not be so bad if I can remotely send jobs to it. I wonder if Simplify 3D can send jobs to it. I'd gladly run Ethernet to something like this to be able to go and send a print to it. And it looks like the bed is removable, too. That looks like a glass plate that's held in by clips. I never loaded any filament. So we're going to cancel that. And we are going to load some filament. So we are going to preheat. Oh, I do like that. To 60. Preheat to 220 to start. I'm heating up. Yeah, I bet you're heating up. It actually says, I'm heating up. I like when they do little stuff like that. This has Wi-Fi too? I probably have to turn it on. Okay, it's not on by default. But that'd be pretty slick. I wonder if I can upgrade that SD card. Throw a 32 gigabyte internal SD card in there? That'd be pretty hot. Yeah, I like the idea of being able to send prints to it, especially if I can just send the prints to it without having to run some kind of wonky interface, so that I can then walk up to the printer and say, okay, I want to print this or this, and I've loaded that wirelessly. Because that's what I really want. I don't mind walking up to a printer and telling it to print, because I'm going to do that anyway. I'm never going to start a print completely remotely, because I want to be standing there. Over 32 gigabytes, don't really need it. The UIs usually become a little cumbersome when you have that many files on there. Okay, so tools, filament, load. So, am I supposed to just push it in, or does it try to load it? Oh, it's pulling it. It's got it. I wasn't sure if it had it or not, but it's got it. Here it comes. There. Come here. Now let's print something. Build. First of all, the UI is very responsive. This large touchscreen is awesome. Let me show you guys this. You're going to love this touchscreen. Neither do I. That's a no-no. That's just screaming break me. I would like that to be recessed. So, here's the touchscreen. So here's your basic start menu. Give me angle. There we go. You can kind of see what's going on there. There it is. So you go to build, you select your USB drive, Marvin, build it. Yeah, I think there's a problem on the internet somewhere, probably near YouTube or Comcast's end, because I'm fine here, and the problem I'm having is only related to YouTube. There's nothing I can really do about it. I just gotta hope the stream's actually making it to YouTube. On my left nostril. Although this would be easily solved with a simple right angle connector to make that USB drive sit flush. It's doing its level. Little bugger moves. Well, this is PLA, so we don't need this on here. So I'm going to show you guys what it's doing. Looks like the bed level's spot on. That is stuck. That is stuck. Feels like fishing line. Yeah. Well, it nailed the bed level in the first shot. How many printers do that, guys? And I didn't even try to eyeball it. I just followed the guide that was built into it, and like that, done. Not sure what that is. I think there's something on the nozzle. This is for somebody who wants a little bit more hand holding. Well, I can't get there. Hey, if it works, it works. Why don't more printers use it if it works that well? Because it looked like it's working pretty good to me. Not yet, but I did confirm they're getting ready to ship it. So I am going to get the Sapphire S, which I'm very much looking forward to. This is direct drive. A suggestion, Flashforge, if you can, put an LED in there so we can see what it's actually printing. So, whoa, I almost broke the top. I almost sat on it. Just get a little one of these, Flashforge. This runs off 12 volts. And if you get two of these and daisy chain them, you have 24 volts if your system's 24 volts. And stick one underneath there. so that we can actually light up what the nozzle's actually seeing. Oh, can you? Well, the problem is not the brightness. The problem is it's not actually putting the light on the print. Now, as the print goes down, of course, it'll light up more, but where I want the light is on the nozzle. It's a pretty noisy printer. It's definitely not a quiet printer, but once you put the housing on it, it's surprisingly quiet. It has one of the light speed. What do you mean? What's this? Build time, 4 minutes so far. Z-axis is at 1.38. Filament use, 0.16 millimeters. Oh, I can turn the light on and off. Filament, that doesn't do anything. Yeah, just get a, dude, I'm going to have a video on it soon. As soon as I have time to actually build one, I'm going to have a video. But you can get a strip of these. It's just 8mm double density LED strips. So it has 600 LEDs per 3 meters instead of 300. So you get more LEDs in a shorter length. But it's like $9, $10 for this. And there's enough here to do 100 printers. Because you can snip it. Every time you see those little dots there, see the little copper dots, you can snip it, and that will run off 12 volts. It's not a file called G-code, but it's standard G-code because I use Simplify 3D to slice this. Basically, it's a .g file. I don't know. You're going to get a different kind of noise, but whether it's better or worse, I'm not sure. I don't have enough experience with these kind of printers. Now, there's a plug-in for Cura as well. So it's not standard, but it's not proprietary. Ooh, Snapmaker 2? Oh, I've seen these guys' printers before. Has the Kickstarter started yet? Not yet? Okay. Looks like Windows Central got the hands-on with it at CES. Does it have a bigger build volume? They're going to have a 300 by 300 Snapmaker too. Ooh. I bet you it's going to be expensive though. Yeah, the glass bed on the TiVo Tornado is very nice. Have a good night, John T. This is interesting, this Snapmaker too. I'd love to get my hands on a CNC machine, even a very basic one. Nice. Nope. Nope. Hey, Joel! I didn't see you very often here. I heard somebody said something. Probably on your video. I think I remember somebody saying the Z-axis was damaged, so they can only move it on X and Y. I'd kill to get my hands on a piece of kit like that. G-Force. They do have part of that. If Cetus would ever make their printer that could use Simplified 3D without a proprietary interface, I'd buy one. Because I want a Cetus Mark III Extended. I just don't want to use their software. See, the way Guider did it was fine. The way the Flashforge, you can use their Flashpoint or you can use Simplified 3D. I'm happy with that. You can use Simplified 3D for your Cetus. Nice! Now, you see, I'm interested in their printer as long as I don't have to use their special software. I heard that you can slice it in Simplified 3D, but then you have to run it through their software. Can you just put... So it does take standard G-code now. Excellent. Yeah, One Bad Marine, Chep, had your fix up on his channel. I've just never gotten into Octoprint. I wanted to, but I could never work with it. This is a Flashforge Guider 2, fully enclosed. Thanks, D-Tart. Because I am interested in the Guider, in the Cetus printers. Yeah, this thing is huge. You see the size of the box. It comes assembled. All I had to do is put the top on, put the tube in, and put the spool on the back. That's it. And the automated bed leveling assistant worked perfectly. I did not use any of my normal eyeballing skills to level the bed. I just followed the instructions on the screen. Perfect bed level, first shot. This thing's a beast. Tiny Fab, if you can, email me or tweet that to me. Well, first you have to make sure you turn off the top so it doesn't try to close the top of the vase. And then simply make sure infill is set to 0 and perimeters is set to 1. And then turn on spiralized outer contour or vase mode in Simplify 3D. And then in your slicer preview, you can verify it's actually doing that. Not if you add a brim to it. But they can always just print yours. But the problem is, a very creative solution. I especially loved how he combined both solutions. But that's only a problem if you have an incorrectly assembled hot end. If your hot end is assembled correctly, you're never going to experience that problem. Oh, that's nice. That's what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for them to release the non-proprietary board. I'll take 4 A20Ms for this. It's looking pretty damn clean so far. I really, really love the cooling duct on this thing. And the fact that it blows cooling air from 3 or 4 sides. That's hot. I thought I was seeing the bed jitter. I don't know. I don't think it has a built-in webcam. Does it? Oh, wait a minute. Does this have a camera built in? I don't think so. Boy, that heat capture actually works. It's actually warm in here. Let me grab my flashlight real quick. I don't think there's a webcam in here. No, I don't see any webcam anywhere. It's not doing any wiping. I turned wipe off. So it's not doing any wiping at all. Maybe. I left it stock. I didn't mess with the script coding yet. I just made obvious changes, you know, turning on single extrusion, stuff like that. Any reason? I didn't turn it off. It was not enabled, so I left it off. Basically, I'm going to trust the settings that they've designed for this and see how it prints. If I don't like the way it prints, then I'll start hacking with the settings. I did not see pictures for wiring. Oh, I haven't logged into Instagram in a long time. Hang on. Let's see. Instagram. Let's see. I guess this one? Old power supply. I cannot zoom in. I would connect the wires to the same connections that they were on the old power supply. The actual breakout board is going to be the same. So it's going to have the same line neutral hot, and it's going to have the same V positive rail and V negative rail. So as long as you connect everything to the same exact ports, you should be fine. I don't know. I saw that mentioned there, Polar Cloud. I don't know what it is. I don't really have that much interest in cloud printing. I gotta say, this print is looking pretty clean so far. It's looking pretty crisp. Pretty fat nozzle on there too. It's got one of those big diamond nozzles. I don't know if it's good to let PLA get that hot. Will letting the ambient temperature get that high be bad for PLA? I don't know. I mean, they didn't tell me not to put it on, so I guess we'll leave it on. I absolutely love how quiet it makes it. It makes it surprisingly quiet with the closure all sealed up. Oh, heck yeah. This might end up being a kick-butt higher temperature machine. I wonder what the max temperature of the nozzle is. Well, cooling fans are kind of an oxymoron because it's more of a air blowing fan. So imagine okay, in the summertime you turn on a fan and it cools you down. But you notice how after a while it stops cooling you down, the fan doesn't cool you anymore? And you have to turn the fan on oscillate to cool you? The reason for that is the fan can't cool you. Your sweat evaporating is what cools you, and the fan makes the sweat evaporate. So that's why they have misters on fans, and that's why you put the fan on oscillate. When the fan oscillates away from you, you sweat a little bit, and then when the fan comes back, it evaporates the sweat and cools you. So if you're sealed inside of a machine, and you're just blowing the air that's sealed inside the machine, you're just blowing hot air on the part. I'm pretty sure I could make a heated chamber for this if I wanted to, pretty easily. with a $15 heater. It wouldn't be hard. Cold is the absence of heat, correct. Although cold is not a state, it's a relative condition. Cold is relative to us. So anything below 50 degrees, we're going to be considering to be starting to go cool toward cold. But that's because we're comfortable at 60, 70, 80 degrees. So, initial thoughts and impressions so far. Well, I gotta say, the build was flawless. I didn't have to do anything, really. Except for the fact that, hey, Flashforge, your sample rolls don't fit. that was just kind of hilarious. I pulled that out, and I was like, yeah, that's not gonna work. So I'll have to make a new spool holder for that. Actually, it has, two spots here for spool holders, so I'll probably just put a second one over here. I'm guessing this has a dual option. Actually, it comes with a 1 kilogram sample that does fit. They sent me a separate package with these half kilogram rolls, 6 of them. No, 5. And these separate ones don't fit. So the one that came with the printer fits. And I'm very glad a $1,500 printer comes with a full kilogram of filament. That's a almost none. I'm actually surprised by that. Like, if I close my eyes, I can't tell by feel when the printer changes directions. That's actually surprising. Present does exist. It's just continuously fluid. Present is now. No, now. No, now. No, it's now. No, it's now. It's now. It's now. There's definitely vibrations, but I don't feel anything, and I can only feel like a slight hum, like a very small vibration on the table. And this is a metal table, although it does have feet. And they are rubber? I think they are rubber feet. But from a user experience, the first thing you have to consider is that this printer is not competition for a CR-10 or an Ender 3. Because your average Joe buying a high-end printer who doesn't want to build one, who doesn't want to mess with one, isn't going to be buying a CR-10. They're going to be buying a Makerbot. They're going to be buying a Lulzbot. They're going to be buying an Ultimaker. Or, in this case, a Flashforge. Now, this thing is $1,000 cheaper than an equivalent Lulzbot, and it's $1,000 cheaper than a Makerbot, and it's $1,000 cheaper than an Ultimaker. So that's how you have to look at something like this. Photon, I think you meant, not. And I don't think it's a photon. It's what is it, a quark? And this is a little bit more than a Prusa. This is $500 more than a Prusa, because a Prusa fully assembled is $1,000, but it's got almost 4 times the build volume of a Prusa. From a beginner's point of view, initial impression, you know, I'm glad they want 6 months, because that's how long it takes me to truly evaluate a printer. I don't know. I don't have one to really give an opinion on. So I can't judge yet, but the people I know who do have them really like them. So yes, this came from Flashforge. Wucheng District, Jinghua, don't know how to say it, Zhejiang, China, wherever that is. It's China. I don't know. For me, it's on and off, but basically I use the printer very extensively for the first week that I have it. And then the next week I use it a little less extensively, because then I have a new printer I'm working on. But I typically don't form an opinion on a printer until I have several hundred hours, usually 500 to 800 hours of printing on the machine. I like to get to the point where it's possible you might be beginning to need a little bit of maintenance. Now, of course, I can never give you an opinion on their technical support, because this came from Flashforge. They might give me preferential treatment in tech support. I'm not, but I can't discount that they might. So you can't really take my opinion on their technical support. And so I have to use the printer long enough to be able to give you a valid opinion. So what I do today is I give you my initial thoughts, my initial impression. Yes, I will get to keep this printer. And I did make an agreement to do at least 6 videos over the next 6 months. Which is fair. The only conditions they applied is that I work equitably with them. If I have a problem, I ask for their help to try to resolve the problem, which is totally reasonable. They've otherwise applied no conditions to me. They haven't asked me to do anything specific. They haven't told me to do anything particular. They just said, hey, 6 videos, 6 months, be fair. That's all they've asked. Amazon. It'll only cost you a tiny bit more and you'll have it in 2 days. Or order one from China and one from Amazon, so you're only paying a premium on one, but you get one right away to play with. It's a very fair deal. I'm very pleased by it. I'm always worried about taking printers directly from manufacturers. I've had to turn a couple down because they kind of hinted that they wanted to guide where it went, and I don't do that because I have to always remember that my employer is my viewers, not the company. And if I alienate my viewers, I'm done. You know, if I become a shill for corporations, you guys are going to abandon me pretty quickly, and rightfully so. So I got to be very careful and be careful with that. That's why I told you guys exactly what our arrangement is and what our agreement is. So that keeps you guys in the loop, and that also keeps me honest. Yep. And that's why I watch people like 3D Printing Nerd. That's why I watch Angus. That's why I watch CNC Kitchen. You know, that's why I watch who are the other guys I watch? Chris's Basement, Country 3D. Yes, this is the first print. We are 31 minutes into the print. That's actually a pretty accurate print time. I think it was telling me 34 minutes, was it? So we're pretty close. We're almost done. We're at 88.4%. So, build so far seems fantastic. A little noisy on squeakiness, but that's because it's going high speed. When it's moving at normal speed, it doesn't squeak. I love the enclosure. This frame is absolutely solid, and not only is it solid, but it looks good. The touchscreen is awesome. I so hope this touchscreen is as big as the CR-10s Pro touchscreen. It might even be the same screen, but I hope more manufacturers switch over to this kind of interface because it's beautiful. Although the trick is having a good UI, and so far they're doing a pretty decent job on the UI. The assembly process was brain dead easy. I followed the. My only complaint was that the instructions did not tell me to remove these, even though I know I need to remove these. I suspect truly novice users who are not DIY personalities are not going to remove these, and they're going to have an interesting experience when they power that printer up. So I would update your instructions to basically look at inkjet printer manufacturer instructions and make a quick start guide like that. Put this on, put the tube in, load the filament, remove the clips, begin the process. I would very much suggest doing that. Yes, it underestimates it by a lot. For me, yeah, it's about 20-25%. Although the new version, kind of weird. Some of them it gets right on, and some of it doesn't. I think part of it is that I have custom G code that slows down the printer, and so Simplify 3D can't account for that. Yes, I use my standard Ender 3 profile. The only changes I make for PET-G is that I increase retraction a little bit, I increase the bed temperature, and I increase the nozzle temperature. That's the only change I make for PET-G. What are the warnings on the side? There's 2 QR codes, a Chinese one and a YouTube one. So right on the side of the printer. Oh, can I take that off? Does that? No, I don't think that comes off. So there's QR codes over here to go to YouTube. Okay. It says here when printing with PLA, remove the lid. To let the air flow. I was concerned about that, so that's right. See, I would include this in the instructions too. I didn't even know this was here. Do not touch the heated nozzle and build plate during printing. Allow the objects to cool down before reaching inside. Do not leave the 3D printer unattended during printing. Yeah, sure. We're going to stand around for a 300-hour print. Yeah, that's going to work. But that's their CYA. Cover your ass. There we go. I gotta say, that looks pretty damn clean. I gotta say, that's a pretty goddamn clean Marvin. Although the overhang on the right eyebrow is not as clean as I would have expected. And does that have four-way cooling? Yes, it does. That is a four-way duct. Oh, interesting. That 30mm fan is not the parts cooling fan. That's the hot end fan. There's another fan somewhere else. Probably a blower that does the parts cooling. And the bed level was good. My skirt comes off nice and clean, so it was not pushing too hard into the bed. If your skirt's really hard to remove, that usually means your nozzle is a little too close. Even the zit line is not that pronounced. That's not bad. A little bit of wipe will probably take care of that zit line. It's weird. I think one of the ducts isn't quite blowing as much as the other because it's perfectly good, but the right hand eyebrow is not quite as perfect as the left hand one. How strong is the key ring? Key ring is strong. It does not break. That is a good Marvin. Let me give you guys a close-up of the Marvin. That's actually not bad. I printed for PETG at the same speed as I print PLA. I don't change the speed. So 50mm per second for me. That's a pretty clean Marvin. If you're printing on glass, make sure you apply glue stick when using PETG, because otherwise PETG can break the glass. Actually, a tiny bit of elephant's foot there on the left-hand side. So I am going to lower that just a hair. Actually, I'm going to clear off that spot there and I'm going to put it right there. Damn it, that's not a bad print. And this is with their stock profile. I have not attempted to tune this yet. Yeah, they always do. Because Simplify 3D always tries to print the bottom of the Marvin before it tries to print the bridge. And so it always has a little dangly bit right there in the middle. But as you can see, nice and clean. No droopy butt. So the cooling was excellent. Almost no stringing except for the end code right there. Even the overhang for the top of the keychain is very clean. That's a damn clean print. You can see how crisp these corners are. They're in shadow. Shows you how nice and tight they are. My only issue is this little overhang right here. I could probably rotate him 45 degrees and fix that. Undersides of the ear cups are good. Even that first initial output almost bridged perfectly there. That empty one-sided bridge. Hemispheres are nice. Ear cups are clean. I can't really tell with white, but I don't see any obvious noise. Definitely no salmon skin is visible. Alright, let's print something else. Build. I don't want to build you again. Why did I do that? Go back. There we go. Let's do Rose for Your Girl. Build. And then we are going to get some different color filament on here. Because I want to see what this looks like with something prettier. Actually, I was thinking about torturing it a little bit. Proto pasta. That stuff tends to be a little aggressive. Actually, we could try some crystal green. That looks like it'll fit their spool holder. That looks like it'll fit their spool holder too. Some Zyro. Purple Haze is the bomb. I love Purple Haze. And it looks like the bed level held for the second print. Yes, I know. I can hear them. I don't know. I imagine you can adjust the offset. There is an option under, is it under G-code, I think it is? Where you set the build volume, 300 by 300 by 400. There's an offset, so you can change your X and Y offset to move that home position. Just don't move it too much or it might crash into the other end. No, I haven't. I saw it pop up in the feed, but I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. We're going to have to try some ABS on this. They say take it off, but it didn't give me a problem the first time, so I'm going to leave it on. My house is pretty cold, so that might actually be why I'm getting away with leaving that on. But the instructions do say to open the door and remove the top for printing PLA. What I will probably end up doing is putting an exhaust fan on here. So just get like, 120 millimeter ultra quiet fan, something super quiet, and just install one on the back there so that I can leave the top on because I really love the noise dampening, because listen to the difference. Big difference in noise. I'm even thinking about putting some weather stripping around here and sealing this bad boy up nice and tight. Maybe putting some soundproofing on the inside. So it's all flat panels on the inside. So it'd be pretty easy to drop in a little bit of foam all over the place to really dampen up the sound coming out of this thing. It'd be pretty nice. Plus I can make the inside of this white instead of black, which will allow more ambient light to reflect. That's about what it is here. 16C in the room right now. Oh, it might be 17 now. Yep, 63 degrees. Just because gas is expensive. That's going to be one of the nicest things about going to a place with natural gas is I'll be able to keep the house 70 degrees all day if I want. Because natural gas is so much cheaper. Oh, tinkering is half the fun, for me at least. Yeah, propane is what we have here. It is not cheap. either you live in a place where propane is unusually cheap, or you're crazy, because propane is stupidly expensive. Humidity you want as low as possible, and ambient temperature, anything below 60, anything below 50°C is fine. Yeah, electric heat's about the same as propane. Electric heat costs about the same as propane. My dad switched from electric heat to propane heat to because the propane heat's a drier heat. It's a faster, drier heat. But if you set your thermostat to the same temperature, it's about the same cost as far as electricity versus propane. That is the second most expensive way to heat your house. The first most expensive way is oil furnace. That's crazy. Oh, ouch. Yeah, that would make propane cheaper. Here, electricity is cheap. I pay 12 cents a kilowatt for electricity. Well, 10 to 12 cents a kilowatt. Exactly. But it takes an awful lot of solar and enough electricity to produce heat. And on top of that, you're now placing the highest demand on your solar when it's at its lowest possible production, wintertime. Oh yeah, this will go. This isn't staying behind. Well, that depends. If you go too low, the printer might have trouble, depending on how much power it's capable of outputting. As far as PLA, I have not encountered any problems yet. I've printed at near freezing without a problem. I would love to be able to keep my house 74. That's when I keep the car. I set the car at 74, and I love it. It feels so good. 76 actually even better. But yeah, with electricity as expensive as where you are, yeah, propane would be cheap, relatively speaking. But here in the U.S., where I live in Pennsylvania, electric heat is about the same cost per month as propane heat. So I can spend $600 a month in gas or $600 a month in electricity. Either which way, it's going to cost me $600 or $700. I found places to move to. I have not found a way to pay for it yet, so I'm still waiting for the landlord to close on the deal to sell the store, and then I sell the business. Once I have that money, then I can actually try to buy a house. Good night, David Carter. No, I stopped delivering for Papa John's. I couldn't handle the 120 hours a week anymore. It was too much. It was starting to screw with my body. It was just starting to get bad. I don't know how I did that for 2 years. It's crazy. I don't know how anybody can do that. That's too many hours. This house, 2,400 square feet. Wish it was bigger, but what are you gonna do? The house I'm moving, the house I would like to move to is a little smaller, 1,900 square feet, but it's got a 4-car garage, which means I don't have to use much of the house space for the 3D printing. Like, it actually started to physically, like, getting sick more often, having issues more often, having to eat more Advil and Tylenol like candy to keep the aches and pains down. Minnesota Maker! I don't care about Lawton. I don't care about Duncan. £30 for what? Striking hand. Well, the house is pretty open, so that'd be hard to do. And also, those cold rooms would become a heat sink for the rest of the house. Yeah, it killed me, man. It was killing me. This can go faster. Can I increase the speed? Printing speed? Yeah. I can go double. It's not enough, man. You gotta generate the heat. Trust me, being cold sucks. Oh, 30 pounds a month for heating? I wish. You don't want to know what I spend on heating. About $150 of my electric bill is for 2 electric heaters, and I spend $500 a month in propane. I wear a parka. Wow. You have natural gas? That's what I'm trying to do. That's why I'm trying, well, though, it's the temperature-wise is not much better. The area of New Mexico I'm looking at is at an elevation of 6,000 feet. So the temperature range throughout the year is about the same as it is here, but no humidity. No, Tim. Tim says that he pays $150 a month. Yeah, see? Natural gas. That's why. That's why I want natural gas. Why not? 6,000 feet. That'll also allow me to make an attempt to go solar. Because the most expensive devices in the house, as far as energy cost, will be natural gas. So, and in the summertime, for a large portion of the summertime, I can use evaporative coolers, which take a lot less power than refrigerated coolers. We can go faster than this. In New Mexico, it's all rock. Which is why I can't buy a house with a well. Wow. That's because Vegas is hot. In fact, Vegas gets so hot, even evaporative coolers, I think, stop working when it gets that hot. At least they don't work the same way. They don't keep you as comfortable. I can even afford to live in a cold climate if I have natural gas for heat. But the trick is I need that natural gas. Wow. Yeah, Vegas is hot. Cheap PLA filament. If you click on my Amazon deals link down below, I have a section called $13 and less PLA. So you can buy Amazon Prime Ship PLA for $13 or less per kilogram. Not really. I've tried that. Don't work. I mean, I can deal with it. It's just, I don't want to deal with it. Yes, and you can keep all that water, Daniel. I would rather die than live in Florida. Oh, God. Yeah, swamp coolers it's an evaporative cooler, a Hall effect evaporative cooler. They are very effective if your humidity is low. From what they told me, they have to go thousands of feet down in the Edgewood area of New Mexico, which is why the typical well costs $12,000 to $15,000. So because of the specific place where I'm moving to, wells are a bad idea unless you have money. I would never want to live in Florida. Too much rain, too much humidity. No. Yep, 17 here, 63 degrees. I think you're going to find nutcases at any place you go. So far, it's working flawlessly. No issues. It is by far the easiest to set up printer I've ever used in my life. You follow a couple on-screen prompts and you hit print. What elevation is Roswell? Yeah, this printer is pretty big. Let me get you a view inside here. Come on. Play nice. Thank you. Well, because that extruder does not move up and down, that should be fine. Remember, the bed moves, not the head. The head moves on X and Y, but does not move on Z. Yes, it does make a lot of noise. You're going to hear a lot more noise because I'm touching the phone against the casing. So the noise is going to be amplified for you. This casing here is going to act as a resonating chamber. It shouldn't wear. It's a nice smooth curve. I don't anticipate that being a problem. Yeah, I hear some rail rattle, which is probably going to add a little bit of noise to the print. I probably can. Yeah, that's not something I really want to do this just now. The bearing blocks are injection molded with metal inserts. No, that probe is stuck in there. Nope. How can I measure the temperature in there? I don't have an easy way to do that. I don't have a thermometer handy. They included some grease, so I'll do that at some point, grease up the rails a little bit. Okay, so you still have some altitude, so it doesn't get too hot in the summer? It depends on your environment, but not usually very often. Like on my wand house, it was like, I don't know, once every 3 or 4 months I'd add a little grease. So it has to be the tablet, because this has not disconnected from chat one time. So it's either the tablet or it's the 2.4 gigahertz network. Damn. We are printing a Rose for Your Girl vase. It's my standard vase print because it's a fast print. Oh wow. It's a lot colder in Edgewood. Yeah, something's wrong with the internet. It's not, I don't think it's my local internet connection. I think it's out there somewhere. Because I don't have a place to put a bigger screen in front of me. My big screen's behind me. Maybe in the new place I'll be able to set that up. I plan to attempt to play with that OBS setup so I can have a multi-screen kind of thing going, like I see other channels using. But right now I'm actually using a phone to stream this. So both of my cameras here are actually LG V20 phones. Oh shit, my battery's almost dead. I gotta charge this thing up. It is screaming, feed me. It should not be dead. It's 10,000 milliamps. I'm actually surprised it's out of power. I have no way of knowing what the address is for the server I'm going to. It's in the YouTube app. Well, I'm close to the Wi-Fi. The router is literally 3 feet right there on the wall. I brought the router into here, right at the doorway, just to make sure I'd have no signal issues. I am hopefully moving in April. That's the plan. That's the hope. Or the plan is after March. I don't want to move in the middle of winter if at all possible. Man, I've been sick as shit for the last 2 days. Got some food poisoning 2 days ago and it screwed me up. Nothing but liquid coming out. Oh. Yeah, it looks like basically just a supersized Finder. I bet it clears it. The first night, I got Monday night, no sleep. I could not sleep. No matter what angle I slept at, couldn't do it. It hurt too much. I came downstairs to sit, can't sit. So I go out in the car and sit, because I could turn the heater on, I could put the seat back, and that worked. Yes, I do plan to go to Murph. I think I needed the vomit, but I couldn't because there wasn't enough liquid. And I was drinking liquid because I was thirsty as hell. And I felt it coming, and I was like, oh crap, I'm gonna vomit. I haven't vomited in 20 years. I have a pretty stout digestive system. It has to be something really bad to get me. Oh no, this wasn't diarrhea. This was water. Diarrhea is liquid shit. This was water coming out my bum. It was just water. It almost didn't even change the color of the water to the toilet. It was so bad. But in the car, I was like, I'm gonna vomit. I threw the door of the car open so I wouldn't get vomit on the car, but I couldn't turn my head fast enough to miss the door. And I just covered the door of the car in vomit. Yeah, well, they can keep those damn cleansing treatments. I don't want that again. I've eaten almost nothing in 2 days, just because I'm afraid if I put too much in there, it's gonna start the whole problem over again. These are Cheddar Jack. Cheez-Its are evil. Never, ever, ever buy big bags of Cheez-Its. Don't. Stay away from them, because you'll eat the whole goddamn thing. There is no choice. You go to Murph, dude. Murph is amazing. Now, if you want maker stuff, then you might want to go to Maker Faire. But if you want 3D printing, you go to Murph. I don't know. I made pasta with Hunt's sauce, with sauteed mushrooms, and sauteed onions, and I don't know. I guess something in it was bad. Murph is the end of March. No, ground beef. Well cooked though, because I have a pet peeve about undercooked meat. Anybody, if you have not been to Murph, if you have the means to go, trust me, go. Oh really? Garlic and raw bananas? Goshen, Indiana. Yeah. If you're not a little weird, there's something wrong with you. Murph with 2 R's. MRRF. Midwest Rep Rap Festival. Really? I remember once at Order of the Arrow in Boy Scouts, we were given a breakfast to teach us a lesson, and it was a carton of milk and a lemon. I was like, oh, that's cool. So I started eating the lemon. I like lemons. I'm a weirdo. And I saw this kid squeeze the lemon into his milk, and then I watched him go to drink it. And I was like, no, 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 no! Too late. Lemon juice instantly curdles milk. He puked it all over the person next to him. Inside 3D printing conference in New York? What's that? Oh wow, that's a hell of a trip, Fernando. Hey, He didn't know better. Most people don't know that. I was a nerd. I knew that. You know, it's probably this plastic shell, but this sounds like my Makerbot Mini. Oh, I'm definitely a weirdo, and I'm proud of it. Normal's boring, man. This world and this species sucks too much to not have a little fun. You gotta have fun. True, an adult should be able to figure that out. Oh, really? Any other people that like you, you're normal. No. That would cost a small fortune. Oh my God, what would that cost? That would probably be like $700 in fuel each way. Murph would cost me $1,400 just in gas. It gets about 4 to 6 miles per gallon. You have a good night, Caliber. Yeah, we can share the driving in my minivan. I have a real nice minivan. It's my little Starship. It's one of my bucket list items. Back in 2004, when they came out with this minivan, it was like my dream car to own because it looks just like a goddamn shuttlecraft out of Star Trek. Moonroof, skylights, screens, control panels, leather seats, power, everything. And yeah, it's a 40-foot, 16,000-pound bus with an 8.1 liter engine. Let me tell you, this thing hauls. I have a 2004 Nissan Quest SE. It's like a luxury yacht on 4 wheels. I got the special edition one. It's got the red leather seats, the red leather interior. Oh, this thing is a dream. And it gets 30 freaking miles to the gallon on the highway. But it was my bucket list van. It was like a $48,000 van new, so I could never afford it. It only took 12 years for the price to drop low enough for me to be able to afford one. Just set a date, buddy, as long as it's not Wednesday or Thursday. I can't do Wednesday and I can't do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Because Tuesday I go down to Egg Harbor City to drop Michelle off. Wednesday I do the live stream, and Thursday I'm already down in Egg Harbor City. Any other day though, we can meet at the local diner here or something like that. That's just it though. It's already pimped. It has like I swear, when they made this van, it's like Nissan went to their engineers and said, here's a blank check. Make something insane. And so they threw the kitchen sink at it. Oh, nice. Look up pictures of the 2004 Nissan Quest SE. Mine's the smoke gray exterior. which is kind of sad. I would prefer one of the brighter colors, but I wanted the rouge red leather interior. It's a stunning vehicle. It's huge. Oh no, that's what I like about it. One of my favorite things about the Nissan Quest is there's no dash. In front of the driver is actually a glove box for you to put stuff in. Okay. What I love about it is that the dash is in the center, and I can dim it down to the point where it's almost off. Which means it's a little weird to get used to at first, but once you get used to it, you wonder how you live without it. I look forward out of my window in front of me, and there's no dash underneath me. You can't even see it. You've actually got to glance to the right to see the dash. You just glance over there and you can see the dash. It's very well laid out. No, do not let anybody smoke in my vehicles. No, no, no. You can never get rid of that smell. But, when you're driving down the highway at 3 o'clock in the morning and you have no light down here infiltrating your field of view, it's very relaxing. It reduces your eye strain by quite a bit. I very much like that design aesthetic. Nice. What would my dream car be? My dream car would be to take my 2004 Nissan Quest SE, have it painted orange. Not like an obnoxious orange, but like a nice, bright, but metallic, luxurious orange. Or blue. I really like blue. And then I would pay someone to rip out the entire drivetrain of the vehicle and put a Tesla drivetrain in my 2004 Quest SE with 2 battery packs so that I can go 500 miles on a charge. That would be my dream car. A 500 mile range electric Nissan Quest SE. I would kill for that. Yeah, Jetson car. Yeah. There you go. Actually, my minivan is the fastest car I own. It does 0 to 60 in less than 9 seconds. This thing hauls. You punch the throttle and you don't expect it because it's a minivan. But it's got the 3.5 liter Maxima engine in it. Yeah, but he wants more of this than I can afford. The problem with getting exact spacing is you don't know what the exact spacing is. That's the problem with exact spacing. Once you know what the exact spacing is, then yes, feeler gauges are perfect. But you have to know what the exact spacing is. And a lot of times, you really don't know what the exact spacing is until you see it print. So if you happen to pick the correct feeler gauge the first time, it's wonderful. But otherwise, you're setting it with a feeler gauge and wondering why it's not working right. That's because it depends. Your filament, the print surface, the temperature, the speed. But yes, once you know what the correct one to use, then yes, it's a very good way of repeatedly getting the correct size. 4,000 RPM on a diesel? Nice. Nissan made a diesel? I didn't know that. Diesels are just so uncommon here in the US. What do you like your skirts knee length or calf length? Doing pretty good. It's got a little bit of micro noise on the surface of the print, which I come to attribute with smooth rod printers. All smooth rod printers I've ever used have that. It's very subtle. Most people won't notice it. It's just something I happen to notice. But I see no salmon skin, and I see no aberrations so far. My other car I'd like to put together is I'd like to combine a Geo Metro with the 0.8 liter 3-cylinder diesel engine and 6-speed manual transmission that's available in Canada for the Smart 4.2. Put that engine and transmission in a Geo Metro, 80 to 100 miles per gallon all day long. You're still seeing the bottle, huh? It'll be interesting to see if the playback is like this, because that'll confirm if it's from me to you or if it's from YouTube to you. So because the stream is not saved on my phone, the stream is saved on YouTube as it's streamed. So if the playback has these same problems, then it was a problem from me to YouTube. But if the playback doesn't have these problems, then it's a problem from YouTube to the internet. It's definitely pretty warm in there. No, I'm waiting for them to come out with larger ones. I want a 1.2 or a 1.5 millimeter Nozzle X. Well, I should probably order a 0.8 since I have a 0.8 printer set up. Although I did get something interesting. This is my nozzle stash. These are all my nozzles, all categorized. So, this is a 0.15 millimeter nozzle from E3D. This is a 0.1 millimeter nozzle. Yeah, that's going to be fun to play with. It's probably going to give me a heart attack trying to make it work right, but it'll be fun to try. Not as long as you think, because I'll be printing smaller. Not really. I print at 0.08 layer height. 0.04 just doesn't do anything for me. And I print at 50 millimeters per second. I was very surprised how well it works. They have a 0.15 nozzle X. Interesting. There's no real reason to have a nozzle X at 0.15 though, because any filament for which you would need a hardened nozzle, you can't put through a 0.15 nozzle. I tried putting some glitter filament through a 0.2. Yeah, that didn't work. The box, all packaged up, was 38 kilograms. So it's a beast. Throw a 0.8 millimeter on your Ender 3. You'll have fun with it. They use G-code, but the files are called .g, so you can still slice with Simplified 3D. Printers normally come with a 0.4. Silk filament, be careful. It's the layer adhesion is poor. Also, print hot, like 230 Celsius. And slow it down a tiny bit. Give it a better chance to adhere. What time is it here? It is 9 o'clock here. So that's 2100 hours. Well, just before. No, I have not. I've only used whatever these machines come with. You're gonna like playing with the silk. With vase prints especially, make sure you over extrude. Go to like 140% if you can. See how your printer behaves. But you really want to go with a larger nozzle, because the silk filament is stronger than regular PLA, but its layer bonding is very bad. So the parts tend to tear apart. And also keep it in a Ziploc bag. The stuff does like moisture. And then also, the fatter you make your perimeters, meaning your individual line width, meaning bigger nozzle, the stronger it is. So my 0.4 millimeter vase, I can tear it apart just by squeezing it. While my 1.2 millimeter print with the same silk filament is almost indestructible. The polyalchemy gold looks very pretty. 3D printing at Nerys.com. Thank you, I appreciate it. Esun has a whole line of silk filament coming out, and one of them looks a lot like Nightshade. Ooh, I can't wait to try that. Yes, I got 2 tables already. I bring so much stuff to Murph, I fill 2 tables. Just look for the table with a pile of massive prints. That's me. Yes, that sound you're hearing is the Flashforge. Now do keep in mind, the microphones are going to gain up the sound, so all printers that I use will sound louder than they are in real life. Sounds just like a Makerbot. It sounds just, as soon as I started printing with this, it reminded me of my Makerbot Mini. There is no such thing as best filament. In my opinion, most filament is pretty much the same anymore. If it's the same kind of filament. PLA is PLA. PLA Plus is PLA Plus. Elixir is Elixir. HDPLA is HDPLA. For the most part. Meaning, whether I paid $3 a kilogram for it or $50 a kilogram for it, they print fine. Now, what does change dramatically from one filament to the next is the quality of the dyes that color the filament. So you buy something like a Protopasta or a Filamentum or a Prusament or a Paramount 3D or a Zyro filament or a 3D Cyatech filament, you're going to have a big difference in the luster and color depth quality of the filament versus a relatively low cost filament like this, which just has a generic coloring. Hey Todd. Yeah, this thing is huge. It's 38 kilograms shipped. Actually, I can turn that more for you guys. Oh, there we go. Should have done that a long time ago. Sorry about that. Yeah, I wanted one too. When they said they were going to send me a printer, I figured they were going to send me a finder. And I hinted, and I was like, I would really like something that's, along the lines of what I have now. Something CR-10 sized. And they sent me a guide or two. I was like, yes! 3D printing at Nerys.com. It's starting to get cold here, too. It's 19 degrees Fahrenheit outside. Really? I didn't know that. 280 by 250 by 300. So it's in the class of a CR-10. It's in that realm. Yeah, pretty much. I gotta say, it's a pretty good print, though. Ow! $800 for an Ender 3. I don't care how it's modded. That's a lot of money. Oh, I hate snow. I don't hate snow. I hate the heating bill. I'm totally okay with the snow if I didn't have to pay for the heat. I'm going to slice something up for ABS on this.